Hi, everybody. So we are going to get started very shortly. We've got about 30 people on the phone, so that's a big chunk of the people that have registered, so that's really exciting. We're just going to give it one more second and see if a couple more people get on. You should be able to see my screen now. We've got the DCYF website up, so hopefully you all see that, and then we'll jump in just a quick second. All right, we're going to go ahead and get started. So thank you guys all for joining us tonight. We're really excited to launch this Merit webinar series and have you guys join us. My name is Mallory Lopez, and I am a professional development coordinator here at the Department of Children, Youth, and Families. I've also got a couple other teammates on the phone and here in the room with me tonight, and so I wanted to give a chance for them to introduce themselves. Al, do you want to say hi?
Yeah, hi, my name's Alex Mee. I'm the product owner for Merit. I'm mostly just going to sit in and listen the same as you and answer any questions that we might have through and after the broadcast. Thanks for having me.
Great, thank you. And Shana, you want to say hi?
Hi everyone, my name is Shana Steinhauer. I'm the Professional Development and Workforce Registry Lead, and I will be taking us through the Merit website once Mallory takes everyone through the DCYF website.
All right, so again, thank you guys all for joining. Before we dig into the meat of our time together, I kind of wanted to go over a couple of housekeeping things, show you a couple things on the DCYF website that Shana just mentioned. So our whole idea with this webinar series is that we wanted to launch a monthly webinar where we would have one webinar per month where we could really dig into different aspects of Merit. So going through the different applications, helping people get acquainted with the site, going through kind of step-by-step of how to get started. And so our time tonight is really going to be focused on those really basic first steps. So really focused on, if you are not super familiar with Merit, if you're just getting started, what are those things you need to know? So our agenda tonight will cover how to register in Merit, how to get a STARS ID, and then how to complete a portable background check. And so before we kind of get into all of that, again, like I said, we kind of wanted to go over a couple things just with the mechanisms of the webinar. So because there are so many attendees online, everybody is muted. So if you have a question as we go through, there is a chat box or question box that you can click on and type your question in. So you guys all should have a little, like a rectangle on the side of your screen that kind of shows all the webinar information. And there is a little drop-down section that says questions. And if you type into that chat box, we'll be able to see any kind of questions that come up. So after each section agenda topic that we go through, we'll pause. We'll see if there are any questions coming through, and we will answer those here on the webinar. And if we don't get through those questions, we can absolutely follow up after with answers to those. So first, I wanted to show you guys a couple things on the DCYF website. So the first, we have some resources on our DCYF website that will help people as they navigate Merit, complete some of the different applications, kind of getting started. So we wanted to show you guys where those live on our website. So if you go under services, under for providers, and then find the child, oops, sorry about that, kind of lost my way there. For providers, child care and early learning professional development. Here's our little PD homepage here. And if you select Merit, it'll take you to the Merit section of our website. And here it's just kind of some basic intro information, what Merit is, who uses it, and why people use it. We've also got our Merit contact information down here right at the bottom. If you navigate over to the training and support section, this is where we keep a lot of our how-to guides, kind of step-by-step resources, PDFs that people can kind of look over as they're completing some of the applications, like the education application and things like that. So this is a really great area that you can find help and support as you navigate Merit or as you help someone navigate Merit. We also have a handy little FAQ section too. So just wanted to point your attention there in case you weren't aware that that is something that we have. This webinar is being recorded. So if you happen to have somebody that you know of that wasn't able to hop on tonight, or you have an employee or a peer or a coworker that you think could really use some or really learn about Merit in this way, you can find this recorded webinar on our website as well. So we have on our PD section a newsletters and webinars page. And as soon as we're done here, it'll be a couple of days, but we'll be able to download this recorded version and then upload it onto our website so you guys can access it that way. So before I pass over the phone to Shayna, and she really gets into our conversation and how to get started in Merit, we wanted to get a little bit of an idea of everybody that's on the phone and how comfortable they are using Merit. And so we have a poll that we want to pull up. So on your screen, you should see a poll asking how comfortable you are using Merit. And so if you guys would just take a couple minutes. One is really, I'm just getting started, really new to this. Two, I've maybe registered, got a STARS ID, but I'm still kind of feeling things out. Three, I'm in it and kind of rolling along, moving on. Four, I'm really starting to know these things. I can help other people. Five, you're an expert at this. So we just kind of wanted to get an idea of who's joining us tonight and how comfortable you all are. So I'll give that just a couple minutes. You guys all have a chance to vote, cast your vote. All right, looks like we have some experts in the room. That's great. A couple more minutes. I think there's a couple more people voting, so I'll just give couple more seconds before. All right. Okay, so it looks like we have kind of an array of expertise in the room, some people that are just getting started. So this webinar tonight and the information that we share will really be great for those people that are a little bit less comfortable with using the system or just getting started. So hopefully you guys will find that useful. So thank you all for participating in that. I am now going to pass the screen over to Shayna, and she will be going through our kind of agenda topics tonight, first with how to register in Merit. So I'm going to hand it over to her.
Hello, everyone. So the very first step that I want to go over is how to register in Merit. So the website that you will be going to is merit.del.wa.gov. And currently I'm going to be using our test site so that we are not showing any personal information. So what you'll see is you'll see the sign-in page on the left side, and you'll see the Merit registration on the right side. So right here, you'll see that this is our phone number and then our email as well, so that if you have any questions or need assistance, you can contact us. If you need to recover your username, you can do that here. And there's also the I forgot my password, find my STARS ID number. So those are some useful options for you if you have forget your password, need your username, etc. So the very first thing is when you are typing in your information under the Merit registration side, you will want to type in your first name, last name, date of birth, and your gender that is listed on your ID. This is due to the portable background check application and the requirements with that process. So just to show you how this works, first you'll type in your name. This is just going to be a test, so I'm just going to type in Merit Admin. You'll type in your date of birth, and something that I've noticed come in through the inbox is you want to make sure that the year is the year for you. Sometimes I see that it comes in as 2006 when it should be 1990. So you can pick your month here by just typing it in. So let's say you're born May 30th, 1990. Make sure all of that is accurate. You can click it here. And then you're going to type in your email. And I've also noticed that people will not receive their activation link, which we will talk about in a little bit, due to a typo in their email. So make sure that when you're entering this information in, that you type it exactly how it is listed. That way you will ensure that you will receive that activation link. You can enter in an additional email if you'd like. It is optional. And then for your password, these are all the requirements that you have to enter in your password. So I'm just going to enter in a fake password here. And then you will confirm your password. Oh, I guess I had a mistake there. Just one moment. There we go. And then this is going to be your password hint. So if you forget your email, your password, I apologize. If you forget your password, you will need to know the answer to this question. So I'm just going to pick how many siblings you have, and we'll just enter in an answer there. Every time someone resets your password, this will also be reset. So make sure that you reset this, and I will show you how to do that once we get into Merit. So once you register, and you want to first make sure that all of this information is correct and matches your ID, you will hit the Save button. So once you do that, it takes just a moment to load.
While we're waiting for that to load, I'll just mention that email is very important, that primary email. This is how you're going to receive all your communications from Merit. So it's a best practice to add merit@del.wa.gov or merit@dcyf.wa.gov to your contact list in your personal email. That way this won't enter into your spam or junk folder.
Okay, thank you for that, Alex. So once you register your account, you will come to this page. Account created, you successfully registered with Merit. To activate your account, you will now need to go to your email in order to click on that activation link. So once you go to your email, this is what you're going to see. It's going to say your Merit account has been created. Please follow this link to activate your account, and you will not be able to log in until you click on this activation link. So I do not have the direct link currently, so there will be a link right here. So you'll just click on that, and it will take you back to the Merit website. If this link does not open for you, these will be the steps that you'll follow. If you have any additional issues or concerns, feel free to contact us. We will assist you as soon as possible. So once that happens, what you're going to do is we're going to go back to the sign-in page. So you have registered your account, you have activated your account, and now you are going to type in your email here, which is your username. And then you are going to type in your password. Just one moment.
Shana, 1 second there, Shana. I'm going to activate your account for you. Sorry, guys.
Thank you.
I'm on the back end there. 1 second. Shannon, you want to try it again?
Yep. Thank you for that. So then we'll just hit enter merit. Okay, so like I was talking about earlier, this is where most of the tabs that you'll need besides the My Applications tab. So if you were to have your password reset, once you are able to log in, this is where you will find that password hint. That way you'll be able to reset this information. You'll click on which password hint you want, and then you'll enter in your answer and hit save. So now what we're going to go to is the My Applications tab. This is where you're going to find, oh, I apologize. We're actually going to go to questions. So let's see, Mallory, do we have any questions currently?
I'm not seeing any, but if anybody has any questions kind of about that first step of just registering, signing up, getting the email, clicking the activation link, we just wanted to kind of pause, see if there's any questions just about that first step before we move on. And so if there are, feel free to type them in that chat/questions box. If you don't have any right now, you can always type them in as we go along. Maybe you'll think of something that you might want to get answered, so feel free. And then we can get those answered. So I'm not seeing any questions right now. Like I said, we'll just keep an eye on those, and if things pop up in the questions box, we'll make sure to pause and answer them. So I'll give it back to Shayna now to kind of go over the STARS ID application and the next step of the process.
Okay, so I was getting ahead of myself there, apologize. So now you'll want to go to the My Applications tab. This is where you're going to find different applications. Currently, all these applications down here are not available because the first thing that you need to do is obtain a STARS ID number. So we're going to go ahead and go into that application. You'll just click on this highlighted blue words right here. Okay, so on this very first step, this is the last possible spot where you can change your first name, last name, date of birth. All of this information can be edited, listed here. And I will, and once we get to it, show you what information can be edited. But your first name, last name, gender, date of birth, all of those really important information that you need to have match your ID in order to go through the portal background check application process. Please make sure that this is accurate here. So, primary language. Oh, go ahead, Alex.
Oh, I was just going to say, yeah, be careful of the personal information section here. This will be your last opportunity without someone at DCYF having to intervene and make these changes. So again, we want to put your legal name in the first, middle name, and last name field because it will affect how your background check is processed.
Yes.
Thanks, Shannon.
If there are any mishaps that happen while you're going through this process and you need your first name, last name, date of birth, or gender changed, please send us a copy of your ID to the Merit email. That's just in case. I know that mistakes happen sometimes, and that's perfectly okay, and we will be here to help you through that process. But we'll just go ahead step by step through here. So primary language is required, so we will want to enter in the primary language. Secondary is not required. We want to enter in what our gender is. Ethnicity and race is not required. This is where your username is. Make sure that you verify that your date of birth here is correct. We know that our email is correct because we were able to activate our account. You will need to enter in a contact phone number. So let's go ahead and we'll just add in a number here. There we go. You can enter in any former names here, which you will want to have listed on your account. And what you'll do is you'll click here to add former name. It'll ask for your first name, middle name, last name, anything that you have had that is different from what is listed for your current legal name. Okay, and then we'll go down to the mailing address. The mailing address is required, so we'll just go ahead and type in. I already have this listed here, so you'll type in your address. You can list your P.O. box. The address to line is if you live in an apartment or a building number, anything other than the street address. Then you'll enter in your city, your state, your zip code, and your county. So before you go to the next step, you'll just want to go through and make sure that all of this information is correct. That way you are not causing any extra work for yourself, and that way you can smoothly get through the next step in the process. So just going through to verify everything. Everything looks okay. So now we're going to hit the next button. This is going to take you to the employment step. I would advise everyone to skip this step for now, as you can add employment later. That way you can get your STARS ID number and you can submit your portable background check if that is a requirement for you. So we're just going to hit the next button. The last step in this process is the signature. So you're going to type in only your first and last name. So we'll go ahead and type that in here. That is the first and last name for this account. And then you're going to hit the submit button. Okay, so now I have a STARS ID number. So this is what you will see once you obtain a STARS ID number. Something else just to show you is you will also receive an email. So this email is going to give you your STARS ID number, and it is going to give you your username. Your username will be your email. You can click right here to go ahead and sign into your Merit account. Your STARS ID number is unique to your professional development record. In Merit, if you attend a training for STARS hours, you must provide this number to the state-approved trainer. That way, that training will be listed on your account. Just an example for you to see of what you will receive once you obtain your STARS ID number. Okay, so once we're on this page, we're going to hit the Done button. And so now, as you can see, we now have a My Education tab. If we go to the My Applications, we have other options here. Something else I want to show you before we go to the next step is this is where you're going to find most of your information. Your name is here, and as you can see, you can no longer edit this information. It is now locked. The only way that you can edit this information is by contacting the Merit support staff, and for your name or date of birth, you would need to send a copy of your ID with your current legal name or your correct date of birth. You can't edit your email address. You'll have to contact us for that, or your gender. So all of those are very important to make sure that they are accurate. This is where your former name will be if you need to add those later. You can edit your mailing address and phone number here. And as we scroll down just a little bit more, this is where you can add your health and safety information. And you'll just click on this. There's little boxes that require you to enter in certain information, and then you'll just hit the Save button. This is where you can add your employment, and this is where all of your training history will live as well. This is where your initial basic training is and your annual continuing education training. Now, before we go to the portable background check application, I'm going to open it up to any questions. Mallory, do you have any currently?
Yeah, so I also just want to take a quick second to talk about what Shayna just kind of walked us through, the professional information section where you can update your training history, add in your health and safety information. Those are definitely topics that we will dig into at a later date if people are interested in learning out, or if people are interested in seeing more of the specifics of adding training to your professional record, adding health and safety information. Those are definitely things that we can walk through in a later webinar. Today, we really just wanted to focus on getting registered, getting a STARS ID, and completing that portable background check. So just know that those topics will be coming, and we would love to hear other things that you guys might want to see. So we do have a couple questions that I'm going to read out loud, and we'll look to Shayna and Al to help answer. So I'm going to start off with one here that says, I'm trying to recover my password, and when I answer the password hint, it's telling me it's not correct. What can we direct people to do at that point?
So what I would advise you to do is I would go to your email and send an email to the Merit support staff at merit@del.wa.gov. And what you're going to provide is your STARS ID number or date of birth, your first and last name, and let us know that you need your password reset. We will already have your email address. If the email that you are emailing us from is different than what is listed on your Merit account, please notify that your email has changed so that we know that that needs to be updated and we can go ahead and reset your password. So again, just to reiterate, if you were to send us an email with your first and last name, your date of birth or STARS ID number, and the email address that you want listed on your Merit account, we will either verify your email or update it, and then we can reset your password. Once we reset your password, you will receive a temporary password and an instruction email on how to log in, as well as update your password hint and answer, so that in the future you can reset your password if you need to without needing to reach out to us.
Thank you, Shayna. We have another question about changing family members or employee information. And we can definitely take some time answering that. I think when we're talking about updating employment and changing that kind of information, we were anticipating to discuss that on a later webinar. But if we end up having time after the portable background check application that we're going to be talking about next, we absolutely can talk a little bit about that and walk through. And then next month we can put that on the list to talk about in detail on a webinar. And in the meantime, please reach out to our Merit inbox with questions like these. We are more than happy to walk someone through that. We also have a phone number that you can reach us at. And I'll pull up the Merit inbox information and phone number at the end of this webinar so everybody can have a chance to take that information down.
And just to let everyone know, it is extremely helpful for us to help you if you were to provide us with the information that I requested when needing a password reset. This way we can easily locate the person's account that you are needing assistance with, as well as just a detailed explanation of what you are needing. And I do want to let you know that an email will receive a quicker response. Even if you want a phone call from us, that you can always let us know that you do want a phone call and just provide us with your phone number, and we will give you a call as soon as we can to assist you.
Thank you, Shayna. So one more question. This question, I believe, is about the professional record page. It says, I've tried changing the information, but there is no edit tab.
Oh,
so what I believe.
Sorry.
Yeah, go ahead, Al. Go ahead.
Add on to this, Mallory or Shayna, or if you think I'm incorrect, but there are some security settings specific to Internet Explorer that our agency adopts for protection reasons related to your data. So let's say your edit icon is missing. Chances are it's specific to the browser that you're using. What I would recommend is if you're on a desktop or laptop, to go ahead and try a browser like the Firefox browser or Google Chrome. In some cases, we have seen that icons won't be displayed on the page that you're looking at, and rather they're just displayed a blank space, but they are actually there. So you can click in that white space, or you can try another browser there. It's something that's beyond our control, but I do recommend using something like Google Chrome or Firefox to navigate Merit.
Thank you, Al. That's very helpful. Okay, so I'm just looking through our questions, making sure we don't have any more before we move on to portable background check. And it looks like we are good. So again, if we're going to move on to portable background checks. If you have questions about the things that we've already talked about, continue to put them in the questions box, and then we'll make sure once we get through this portable background check section to pause and answer and go from there. So I'm going to pass it back over to Shayna.
Okay, so now what we're going to do is the portable background check application lives in the My Application tab. And I know that I've repeated this many times, but it is extremely important as it will save you time in going through this process. Please, before you even go to the portable background check application, verify that your first name and last name, date of birth, and gender match what is listed on your ID. That is extremely important to get through the portable background check process. If it does not match, you will not be able to get your fingerprints done. So I know that I am repeating myself, and I do apologize for that. But I just want to make sure that everyone knows how important that is, as we want to value your time and we want to help you get through this process as quickly as possible. Something that I do want to let everyone know, if you are a family, friend, or neighbor provider, so if you are receiving working connections or substitute childcare through DSHS, your process to get through the portable background check application process is different. And if you have questions about this, please contact our FFN team. Their email address is dcyf.ssn@dcyf.wa.gov. Their phone number is 1-866-852-8325. option 8.
And we will pull that information up again at the end of the webinar in case there are any FFN providers, family, friend, or neighbor providers on the phone. We'll definitely pull up that information so you can see it one more time at the end of this webinar.
Yes, and that way you know where it lives on the DCYF website as well. Okay, so now that we've gone over that, I'm just going to go into the application now. Okay, so the very first step is choosing what your early learning program is. So if you work at a licensed childcare, an ECAP program, Head Start, if you are a substitute and pull applicant, this is where you're going to check. If you are FFN, like I said, there are some steps that you have to complete before you can choose this option. So please contact that FFN team. But let's just say that we are we work at the licensed childcare program. So now we're going to scroll down a little bit and we're going to select our role. So let's say that we are an employee household member. Just so that everyone knows, if you accidentally choose the wrong option here and it does not pertain to you, that is perfectly okay. This background check is portable. So if you were to go from a licensed childcare site to an ECAP site, your background check is still valid and will still work if you will still be a valid background check for you to go to a different site. Okay, so these are just application instructions and what you need before you go through this process. You will want to make sure that you have your current address and any addresses for the last consecutive years, and that's going to be physical addresses. You will want your current driver's license with your ID number, any information about your background check to include prior pending criminal charges against you, payment information to pay by debit or credit card or a check, Fingerprints are required for all individuals that are 16 years of age or older and new to childcare. Fingerprints are also required if you have a portable background clearance, move out of Washington, and return to childcare. The cost of fingerprints is approximately $44 and payable to the vendor you schedule your appointment with. Okay, so we're just going to go over to the next. Again, feel free as we go through this to ask any questions that you have so that we can assist you with those. So now we're going into the application. This is your account information. Please make sure that this is correct. If you see anything that is incorrect, please follow the steps of sending your ID to us. Next, your social security number is optional. You are not required to enter that information in here. Your email address is very important because this is where you will receive your fingerprint email, and we will get through that a little bit later so that you know what the process is. Your phone number. Once we get to the government issued ID, if you have a Washington state license or state ID, this is what you'll want to choose. If you have an out-of-state license or ID, you will click on this option here, and then you'll click on the state that license is attached to. If you have a passport or any other ID, what you're going to choose is the none option. As you will not be able to type in your ID number. So what you'll do is you'll choose none, and then when you go to your fingerprint appointment, if that is required of you, you will just make sure to bring your ID with you to that appointment. So now what we're going to do is scroll down. You'll want to add in any former names. Like I said before, this is important to have for the background check, as well as once we get into the education, that's also important. So please make sure that you add all former names here. We're going to scroll down. This is the current mailing address for us. So make sure that all of this information is correct. Before you go on to the next step, just go through this real quick to make sure that all of this information is accurate. And then once you do that, you will click on the next option. Okay, so this part of the application is important. You want to enter in the last 5 consecutive addresses, or sorry, not the last 5 consecutive addresses, the addresses for the last 5 consecutive years. We can't have any gaps, overlaps, so I know that this can sometimes get a little bit difficult. If you have any issues, feel free to contact us and we will assist you. You will need to use physical addresses here and not the P.O. box or mailing address. So what we'll do is we'll click on this button right here. So what we're going to do is I'm going to enter in 2 addresses here. That way you can see what the process is if you don't just have your current address, or that you haven't lived at your current address for the last 5 years. So let's say that we moved into the previous address in May of 2005, and that we lived there until August of 2010. So now we're going to enter in what that address is. Again, the address to section is for apartment numbers, so let's just say that will be apartment number 5, or building number, etc. And then we'll enter in a city. Washington is the state. Zip code. And then the county that we live in. Just so that you all know, you can enter in out-of-state addresses or out-of-country addresses. As you can see, there's a multitude of countries here, and all of the different states as well. So that is an option. So once we enter in this address, we can either hit save or we can hit add another. And since we do have another address to add, let's go ahead and click that. So as you saw before, I said that we moved from our previous address in August. I cannot choose August as when we started at this new address. I must choose September because there can't be any overlaps, and I can't choose October or any other month as those are gaps in the gaps in time. So let's go ahead and hit September. And because we are still living at this address, we're going to check this box. It will not work if you try and do this and go through, as it will not populate that you have a current address. You must check this box if this is your current address. Okay, we'll just go ahead and enter in this information. We're going to choose our county, verify that all of this information is accurate, and we are going to hit save. Oh, I did not enter in the year, so we moved in 2010. And that's something that's helpful. It will notify you if there's any issues, and if you aren't able to figure out what the issue is or where the problem is, feel free to contact us and we will assist you. Okay, so the way that you will know whether or not you checked that box is if you see this green check box here. That will notify you that, yes, we did check the current address box, and now we can go on to the next step. Okay, so this is all of our criminal history and background information. So if you do have any previous history, criminal history, pending charges, or say yes to any of these questions, I'll just show you an example. If you selected yes, you have to enter in the details here. So you will click here to add a crime. You will choose through which crime pertains to you, the jurisdiction that the crime happened, the decision, and the decision date, and then you will hit save. And it will take you through. You just answer the required questions. So we're just going to hit no as we go through these steps. So you'll just want to go through this again. Every single time you go, you finish a step, just go through, make sure that you answered everything accurately. That way you don't have any issues, as that will save you time. So what we're going to do is we're going to hit the next step. So this is the very last step. If you'd like, you can go through all the steps again just to make sure that everything is correct. And what we have to do is we have to check all of these boxes. And feel free to take your time to read through all of these steps if you would like. For the sake of time, I'm just going to go ahead and go through. That way we make sure that we have give time for everyone to have questions, and then that you have read and understand the reporting responsibilities. Now what we're going to do is, again, type in only our first and last name. And then we're going to indicate where the form was signed, name of city or county. You don't have to enter in both, just one or the other. So we're going to go ahead and enter in that information. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to hit submit. And that's after verifying that all of the information that we entered in here is correct. Okay, so thank you for creating an application for a portable background check. Please be aware that there is a $12 fee associated with this application. Your background check will not be processed until this fee is paid. Would you like to submit your application now? And yes, we would like to submit our application.
Takes a long time to load.
Yes. Okay, so now we are on the payment page. So we can either make a $12 application fee now by electronic check or by debit card. If your employer is paying the application fee, they can submit that on their facility site tab, which if you are interested, feel free to send in your suggestions, as we will cover this if it is wanted. You can also mail a check, money order, or cashier's check. and I will show you that there is an email with instructions on how to do that. So I'm just going to show you what is required for both of these options here. So if we say that we want to pay by electronic check, it's going to transfer us to the payment processing screen. So our payment is going to be $12. It is a one-time payment, and once we enter in all of our information, we will pay it right now. This is all of our contact information, so you'll want to make sure that all of that is correct. So our payment method is based off of the information listed on your check. So your routing number is going to be this first set of numbers. Your bank account number is the second set of numbers. And then we will type in our bank account type, checking or savings, and whether or not it is a business account. If it is a business check, you can click that here. So once you enter in all that information, you will hit continue, and that will take you through the process. So we're going to hit back just so that I can show you what the debit credit card option is. I'll go ahead and click on that, and it will transfer us over to the processing page. Again, it'll show you the amount that you'll be paying. You will enter in your cardholder name, your address, and then you will enter in your credit card number, expiration date, security code, etc., as well as your email. Once you verify that all of that information is correct, you will click on the Pay with your credit card. And then your payment will go through. Just so that everyone knows, your payments can take 3 to 5 days to process, which we will go over in a little bit. So if you do not want to pay by electronically, then you are not required to do so. There are other options. So what you will do is you will just click on the Done button. Once you, and there's also, just while we're here, if you log into your account and you need to pay for your background check electronically later, that is an option. Once you go off of that page, you will just log into your account, go to the My Record tab, and then you can click on this Pay Now button, and it will take you back to the page that we were just on. Once you submit a portable background check application, you will receive an email. So I'm going to show you what that email looks like right now. So you will have your username and your STARS ID number. It will let you know that you've successfully submitted your application. And then we will scroll down. Your $12 application fee must be submitted immediately so that your application can process. It can be made either electronically or by mail. As I said before, your employer can submit the payment if that is the process for your site. We will, and it also provides instructions on how you can pay. We'll scroll down a little bit further. Mailed payments, here is the mailing address that you will need to mail in your payment. These are the options that you can use to submit your payments if you do not want to submit it electronically. To ensure payment is applied correctly, you will want to make sure that you enter in your full name and STARS ID number. Purchase orders are not an option for payment. A $25 fee will be assessed for a return payment due to insufficient funds. Like I said, it can take 3 to 5 business days to post your application. And then this provides you with the steps. You will submit your application, pay the $12 fee, the background check process begins. So after this, you will receive a fingerprint email. It will have a attachment, which will provide you with your OCA number, which you will need to bring that whole entire document. So you'll want to print it out and bring it to your fingerprint appointment so that you can go through the fingerprint process, as well as a copy of your ID or your ID. And then you will receive that within 3 to 5 days of your payment being processed. If you do not receive that fingerprint email within that time frame, then you can go to this email listed here and contact the background check team at this email, and this is their phone number as well. And they will make sure that you receive your fingerprint email. If you do not receive it within that 3 to 5 days, please contact them as soon as possible. If you are unable to contact or locate the background check contact information, feel free to contact us and we'll forward you on to the appropriate team.
This is Alex one more time. I would like to add one thing. I did see a question related to background checks as far as what if someone is being disqualified. To preface this, just so you know, no one on the phone or anyone on this team can actually see your background check results, or moreover, any of the boxes that you select within the application related to criminal history. If you do have a question specific to the results, you're going to want to contact that phone number or the email address that Shayna has pulled up on the screen, and that team, the background check team, will be able to answer any specific questions related to background check, what constitutes disqualification, anything like that. So again, yeah, we are not privy to your information regarding criminal history or anything personal beyond your initial personal information that you entered within the start of the application.
Yes, and if you have additional questions about why your application is taking longer than you anticipated to process, please contact the background check team. All that we can see is that it is pending. So just so that you can contact the appropriate team sooner, please contact the background check team. We are mainly here to assist you through the application process, and we can't provide any more information than that. So just so that you can get assistance as quickly as possible, if you have any questions besides going through the application process, you'll want to contact the background check team. But it looks like that we are now to the questions section. So Mallory, do we have any questions here?
So far that has been the only question regarding background checks that have gone through. If you guys have any more questions, you can type them in as we're wrapping up anything. Al or Shayna, was there anything else regarding portable background checks that you guys wanted to make sure we mentioned before we kind of move on and wrap up our conversation for tonight?
As far as the background check, that's all the information I have. I did see one more question, though, I did want to answer regarding training. So a state-approved trainer doesn't necessarily have to go through the background check process. Again, you're educating the faculty members. So unless you're operating in a child care home or center providing training consistently, a background check is not something you necessarily have to do as a trainer.
Thank you, Al. I glossed over that question. I see it now. So thank you for answering that. I'm just going to do one more double check that we got through. All right. So, so Shayna's going to pass the screen back to me. We definitely want to thank you guys for joining us tonight. Like we said in the beginning, this is really just kind of to learn the basics about Merit, how to get registered, how to get a STARS ID, and how to complete a portable background check. We'd really love to hear from you all about your thoughts about how this webinar went. What do you want to hear in the future? We definitely have some ideas about some of the questions that came up tonight, what to bring to the table for next month. And also, please don't hesitate to reach out to us. You don't have to wait until next month to get your questions answered. Our inbox, I'll pull up in just a second and show that contact information. So we will be sending out a really short survey tomorrow to everybody who attended to get your feedback. So we'll just be sending it via email to the email that you used to register for this webinar. So please expect that. It'll be coming from our DCYF email address, so that should come to your inbox tomorrow. And we, again, would just really like to hear any feedback you have, any topics that you want us to cover in the coming months. That would be super helpful. If you have any questions related to Merit, I just wanted to pull up that contact information one more time. Again, you can get to here by going under Services, Providers, into our professional development page and then clicking on Merit. Then if you scroll down, you will be able to find our email inbox, which is merit@dcyf.wad.gov. And the phone number you can reach us at is 1-866-482-4325 and select option 5. Any merit-related questions, please send them to us, call us. We're happy to help. And again, if you would love to give us feedback, we'll be sending out a survey. If you are an FFN provider, a family, friend, and neighbor provider, and have some questions about that, I just wanted to direct your attention to their webpage as well with their contact information. So again, under services, providers, early learning providers. And if you go to the family, friend, and neighbor providers webpage, you'll see the contact information right up here on this box. So you'll be able to access that there if you're an FFN provider and have questions about your portable background check. So I believe that's all we have for tonight. I see one last question about this webinar being available in languages other than English. We are currently working with our team now to figure out how we can record this webinar in languages other than English, especially Spanish. So that's something that we will follow up with. Once we get this webinar posted, we will follow up with everybody who attended to let you know where you can find it in another language and where it will be available. If we missed any of your questions, we will go through and look them and respond via email. So if you didn't get something answered, we'll do one more check. We'll respond to you guys separately through an email. And just look out for our survey tomorrow for feedback and topics you want to hear moving forward. So thank you guys all so much for attending. We'll be sending out the dates for the next one very soon, and we look forward to hearing any of your feedback that you have. So thank you, everybody. Have a good night. Bye-bye.
Yes, thank you very much. All right. Bye-bye, everyone.
Bye.